Fall time. One of my favorite times of years. And if there are two things I can count on right now, it's Dexter clips on TikTok and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But do you guys remember those commercials from like the early 2010s where they would just like eat each other? They've kind of veered away from that though, because in the newest commercial that actually gave me this idea, which I shit you not, I'm not watching in full until now after I've made the project. So it's crazy that that resembles so much of the project. Sorry, I just had to add that in there. They made one of them to be like Jeffrey Dahmer, I guess. All right, this is gonna make me sound like a weird. Anyways, that's what we're making today. First, we'll start out with the eater and the E10. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't really know what a Cinnamon Toast Crunch looks like by heart, so I had to look it up. And we found our boy. So now we can get to sculpting. Which, in short, the simplest way I could put it is a very badly sculpted flat square with some eyebrows. Yeah. Now we have to make the eye cavity, which kind of just dig into this guy's skull with a plastic clay tool. Then we just get a little worm and put it above that, and we have an eyebrow. Next, I'll just use a silicone tool to kind of make an indent, and that'll be his mouth. Now, what is a cereal eater without their entree? So that's what we're going to make now, which is nonetheless the same process as the first one. So we now have our cereal boys, but this is clay, so it takes a very long time to dry. So in the meantime, we will work on the other parts of this crime scene, which I will start out with some pink foam, making the floor and the two walls. Now I'll score in some guide marks with my X-Acto knife and ruler. Then I'll press those guide lines down with a clay tool, and that'll make it look more like tile. And now it's time for the rest of the scene, which I'm just gonna 3D model and then we'll 3D print out. We've got the fridge, a lamp, a few tables, some bottles, and a few utensils. Now we can export it and 3D print it. By the time they were done printing, the Cinnamon Toast Boys were also done drying. So it was the perfect time to prime both of them to get ready for paint. And while they're waiting for paint, we can just go ahead and paint the base. And after letting that sit for a while, it's already time to weather it. I'll just use a brown wash for that. Especially around the vent to make it kind of like give it that crusty, musty look. I don't know. Now guys, before we continue, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, the subscribe button. If you guys are enjoying the video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because there are many more projects like this to come, and it lets me know that you guys are enjoying this. Anyways, back to the video. And now we can start painting our main subjects of this scene. The refrigerator and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, of course. Now, what is a Cinnamon Toast Crunch without the cinnamon? So we're going to use some fake sand to make that. Then we'll kind of just lather our boys up in some glue and plop them on in there. Now we have to get the other side, of course, so we'll lather them up as well. We'll flip them over for the big reveal, and they look pretty fire. And at this point, it's almost time for everything to come together, so we'll paint the edges of the base black for a more finished look. Now getting these guys out of their sand baths, they're looking pretty damn good, but they're not done yet. They still need their cinnamon swirls. And after we're done with those, we can go ahead and give them their eyes. And of course, we don't want them to be demonic Cinnamon Toast Crunch, so we're going to have to paint on some pupils. And now to start finishing the base. And since we're going with the theme of serial killer, I kind of wanted plastic wrap everywhere. And to do that in a mini scale, I'm just going to cut up a plastic bag. And it looks just like plastic tarp. And I wanted it to look like it was just kind of thrown up. So using some actual painter's tape, I just cut them into smaller strips and used them as real tape. And I really love how this came out. Now we'll add some hot glue to our victim's back until he looks like Kim Kardashian and stick him to the table. I'll also cut another bag into strips, glue onto the bottom of the table, and wrap around our victim to look like plastic wrap as well. Now guys, it is finally time to put everything together. Starting off with the goat, arguably a cardboard box. Next up, we have an old ass fridge, a couple of tables, and what might be a big pot from Fortnite. And I know this is a sin, but we're using the Craggle today.
I know.
Now we'll add in the rest of the, what might you call, condiments. We got a bottle of milk, a big jar of something else that's tan.
Holy fuck.
A little jar of something else that's tan, and some more milk, of course. Now we've got to put his utensils on his table. And now it's finally time to glue everything down and make this official. So first, we'll start out with our unfortunate cinnamon toast victim. Next, our cannibalistic maniac's utensils of choice. And finally, our cannibalistic maniac. We'll call him Bill. And with that, we're done. I'm really happy with how this project turned out, and if you guys enjoyed this video as well, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button or hit the like button. That'll let me know that you guys enjoy this, and it'll just kind of boost it in YouTube's algorithm. And so either way, it helps me out a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this just as much as I did. I'll see you here next week for our next project. Wherever you are, stay safe and stay creative.